So friends, guess whose name was just deleted from the Kennedy Center's website? But the job is not yet done. There are more deletions to come. So friends, throughout history, we have seen the physical manifestation of the fall of dictators. Their statues are toppled, their names are removed from monuments and buildings and streets, and that is the trajectory America is now on, and we will not stop until democracy has won. Now, before we turn to the new reporting, will you indulge me just 30 seconds of housekeeping? As you may know, here at Justice Matters, we are an all-volunteer operation up and running 7 days a week, posting a legal analysis video every day, and we couldn't do it without your help, without your support. So if you're interested in more formally supporting our all-volunteer efforts, our mission, our content, please feel free to come on over to patreon.com. You can sign up to become a patron, and if you do, I will send you some. Now, let's turn to the new reporting. This from the Washington Post. Headline: Kennedy Center removes Trump's name from website after judge's ruling. And that article begins: the Kennedy Center on Monday removed President Donald Trump's name from its website, although the front of the venue still reads the Donald J. Trump and the John F. Kennedy Memorial Center for the Performing Arts. The change came more than a week after a federal judge ruled the center's board of trustees had illegally renamed the venue and ordered the restoration of its title, the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. On Thursday, the center ordered staff to erase Trump's name from official materials, giving them until this Friday to restore the website and make all other changes. By Monday, the center had also updated its YouTube page to no longer include Trump's name. But branding for the Trump Kennedy Center remained on several of the center's social media pages, including Facebook, Instagram, and X. Removing Trump's name from the website is the most concrete public reversal yet in the president's campaign to take control of the performing arts venue. In February 2025, Trump moved to purge the center's board of trustees, replacing members with political allies who elected him board chair. In December, the reconstituted board voted to rename the venue, and Cruz added Trump's name to the exterior the next day. The renaming drew swift condemnation from arts figures and members of the Kennedy family, who said it defiled a living memorial to the assassinated president. Congress created the center in 1964, 2 months after Kennedy's death, calling it the sole national monument to his memory within the city of Washington and its environs. Under the law establishing the institution, critics noted, only Congress holds the authority to change its name. In ruling the name change was illegal, U.S. District Judge Christopher Cooper said that Congress had been crystal clear when it renamed the National Cultural Center as the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts and designated it a living memorial to the slain president. Quote, Congress gave the Kennedy Center its name, the judge wrote, and only Congress can change it. So friends, the way I see it, this is a sure sign, a compelling sign that the self-proclaimed day one dictator, Trump's words, not mine, is losing power, is losing influence, is losing his dictatorial grip on American democracy. And can we kick around one question before we finish here? Why is the Trump administration complying with this court order? Now, they haven't fully complied yet. They have until Friday, the 12th, to remove his name off all Kennedy Center materials, off the building itself, off the Kennedy transport buses that he plastered his filthy name on. Why is the Trump administration at least beginning to comply with this court order? That's not really Trump's MO, is it? Usually when a judge rules against him, he's, bloviating about, we're going to appeal this to the Court of Appeals and then all the way up to my Supreme Court, but not this time. They have at least started to comply. Why? Well, we don't know, but if we apply the sort of conventional rule of law principles, it's because he lost and the court ordered this action to be undertaken. And Trump doesn't have a legal leg to stand on. The law is clear. Congress named the building. Only Congress can rename the building. But when has the rule of law ever stopped Donald Trump before? But it may be that, he has lost an embarrassing loss here, and maybe he doesn't want to suffer another loss in the D.C. Federal Circuit Court of Appeals and then suffer the ultimate loss before his Supreme Court. That could be. It could be that Trump is about to embark on a game of chicken, and maybe the Friday deadline will approach and he'll tell his people not to remove his name from the building. And then the ultimate question becomes, what happens if we have an executive branch who says we are neither complying with nor appealing the judge's order? That is yet another constitutional crisis. The remedy is one of two things. One, the judge initiates contempt proceedings against Trump and his administration for defying the court order. Or, there is a group of people legally responsible for carrying out, executing federal court orders. That would be the United States Marshal Service. Could it be that the judges will say, under federal law, U.S. Marshal Service, you are obligated, legally obligated, to execute my court orders, so I'm directing you to remove Trump's name from the building? I think that unlikely to happen, but it would be lawful. And then you might be saying, yeah, but Glenn, isn't the Marshal Service actually an executive branch agency under the control of the president? Yes, but here's where I want to leave things. As a career federal prosecutor, I worked with the United States Marshal Service for decades. And let me tell you, they are a crack outfit, and they take their legal, statutory obligations deadly seriously. So if it comes down to the federal court instructing them to execute its order, as they're legally obligated to do, but Donald Trump lawlessly tells them, violate that law. Do not execute the judge's order to remove my name from the Kennedy Center. I hope this doesn't sound hopelessly naive, but I think the rule of law will win the day in the minds of the men and women of the United States Marshal Service. I fervently hope that is the case, and I even expect that is the case.